Good day, everybody. My name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the Coffee Cast Reddit Casted Edition, where today I have pulled down a Diamond League game. It's going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg, and casting with me, as always, is going to be the wonderful Sleeper Cells. He'll be introducing our second player because he specifically requested it. On the top left-hand side of Waystation, we have Nifilga Pericles as our red Zerg player, and Sleeper Cells. I'm scared to hand this off to you, but you know what? Blue is all yours. Go right ahead, man.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit under the weather, but it's all right. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. It's oh god.
Why do I cast with you?
The blue Zerg. That was. Excuse me.
Oh,
he's blue
gosh.
Zerg. He's asdasdasd.
You know,
I'm gonna go ahead and call him ASD, if that's okay.
I was gonna say before the game we were talking like, what are we gonna call this guy? And Sleeper Cells just said, "Coffee, please let me have this introduction." We never agreed on anything, but I think we can agree on ASD or ASD. I might call him ASD. I apologize. Okay.
He's an ASD.
We'll probably end up going back and forth. We do that a lot.
I feel like ASD is like an acronym for something really bad. Oh! You know what it is?
Don't!
No, it is. It's an ASD is the thing that was wrong with my heart. I swear to God.
Oh! I thought that was gonna.
Septal defect.
I thought you were gonna be going into like some sort of.
No, I was
very profane language. It was like, please don't make me start this cast over a second time. The first cast, by the way, started with "good after day, everybody," and then I just stopped. Like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
It was a great introduction.
Whoa, that's a really early over. Oh, he's just getting the overload for the queen. I was gonna say that's an early overlord, but I just haven't cast in a while, and I'm stupid.
Oh my god, he's building overlords. Coffee break.
What? I don't play Zerg. Sleeper. What does an overlord do? Both these players did open up 14 pool. We had Pericles go into his. Oh, I was trying to spacebar over. It's not done yet. We had Pericles go into, I believe, a 15 hatchery, so pretty standard opening there from him. Both players going a little bit on the safer side. This isn't a 4-player map, so probably just trying to play to the map a little bit. And it looks like ASD going for metabolic boost and just nice standard. Well, I guess there's an extra pair of Zerglings in there, so hopefully he can get a drone kill or two out of that, I think.
Well, one minor difference in this early game that's taking place is we do see ASD did go for that 100 gas to get that Zergling speed, whereas Pericles is going for a gasless opening. He does not have any of them all gases, so those speedlings might be able to do a little bit running around the slowlings of his opponent here. As of right now, though, not too terribly much going to get done. Going to just start nibbling away at the plates.
Whoa,
at the bottom of that range there.
Pericles playing very safe. He has not, to my knowledge, he has not seen these. Well, he might have seen them with this Overlord down here. Okay, gotcha. Well, he did drop a Spine Crawler down here. He did then see 6 lings, which probably looks like it's going to be a little bit more aggressive, and I think he has a couple more coming out across the map.
Yeah, he's going at this point. He's up to 12 lings versus his opponent's 4, and they are all rallied right across the map.
Supply block. Pericles got supply blocked. He can't make more Zerglings right now. He's just trying to get the queen out of the hatchery down in his natural expansion here. He has a queen and a few Zerglings blocking the ramp there, but suddenly this hatchery's actually in a little bit of trouble, Sleeper Cells.
I think he's abandoning the natural. He's building a Spine Crawler up in his main, and he is just holding himself back. He canceled the queen at the natural. He's building, it looks like, a couple of Zerglings there, but those are just going to rally right into the main, and the Broodlings will chase off the Lings for a little while, but that definitely did its damage. Suddenly, ASD is just significantly far ahead.
Yes, he is. Just has that one drone lead right now, but that's going to expand very rapidly with the addition of his natural expansion. The natural just getting restarted for Pericles. ASD saying, I came, I saw, I conquered, pulling his Zerglings all the way back home.
He didn't necessarily conquer, he ate.
He nibbled. I came, I saw, I nibbled.
There you go.
I don't know. I feel like that's something I would have heard on Futurama or something. I don't know why. The Overlord, I wish these Overlords here were spread out a little bit more for ASD. Just give him a little bit more of an idea of what was coming in and out of this area. Going to try to throw these Zerglings up, but they're not going to get too much done. But we do have to remember, ASD does have Speedlings to the Slowlings of Pericles, which means that any engagement ASD takes, even with less Lings, he automatically has an advantage in.
To a degree, I mean, with
To a
100
degree.
lings versus 8.
Well,
the
you
8
know what I
lings
mean.
will lose the fight.
He can jump in, he can pick off 3 or 4 lings,
absolutely.
maybe lose one of his own, and jump out. That's a good trade at this point in the game.
It also opens up the possibility of trying to run by, see what's going on, get a nice scout off of the main of which Pericles just now taking both the gases in his main base. Gonna start doing some sort of techie tech, as well as the four queens chilling on the ramp, pretty much denying that ling run by I was just talking about.
Well, you see, the problem with Pericles right now is he can't take a third base because he has slow lings and he doesn't have any gas units. He doesn't have roaches to try to help against zerglings. He doesn't have banelings, so he can't, you know, take a third base. He can't be aggressive. He has slowlings. He doesn't have any gas. He doesn't have any power units. So right now, ASD has all the power in the world. He's chosen to go banelings right now. He's getting a lot of zerglings as well. So probably it looks like he's gearing up to a little bit of a power attack. He's not droning that hard, just sitting at around 30.
You know, I really don't like this, actually. I think he'd had a great position. He had total map control. And now he's trying to force his way in a situation where, look at this. Pericles is finally SimCity. He's got a wall. He's got 4 queens on the ramp.
Oh, and Pericles sees this too. He's flying an Overlord. He's seeing the banelings. He sees a bunch of zerglings here.
Oh, yes.
And I think he's prepared for this. Like you're saying, lots
absolutely.
of queens and the spine crawler front going to be such a big deal. The banelings are going to be leading the charge in. They are slow banelings, and it looks like one's going to get picked off, and they're going to go straight for that mineralized. Zerglings trying to get on top of that spine crawler. Not the greatest baneling hits there. Did get a few drones, but not taking out much of the army. But I don't know if it matters. There's so many lings here.
The hatchery once again in danger of falling here. There's a lot of queens, but those queens did not want to engage in the party. There's some transfuses desperately trying to keep this alive, but it's getting so low. So many transfuses on that, and he saves the hatchery. ASD gonna go ahead and back off. That is a lot of queens, Coffee. That is 7 queens.
That is a lot of queens right there. 8 queens in total for Pericles, but hey, that's what you get when you go this gasless opening. You just get lots and lots of queens, and they're not going to die to this many lings. The ling's going to try to go up in the main. They're getting up into the main. There's nothing up here. He pulled the queen down by accident, so for the moment, there's no immediate defense here. One drone, pardon me, goes down. It looks like he's going to just stick with that 1, maybe 2 drones, but the Zergling's getting caught up in the queen. The drone transfer does manage to save most of them there. But oh, he is going to be morphing banelings in the back of that base.
Look at that Q. Look at that Q.
And I hit V. I hit B, trying to hit V to get the player vision. So we're going to go back 10 seconds and watch these queens again.
Build the anticipation. Look at him. He's rallying those banelings to the mineral line. The empty mineral line. But he's rallied them. He's getting ready to go. There they go. And the queens are just going to kill them all in an incredibly anticlimactic way.
That was a little scary for a moment. I say as the cat continues to lick my elbow. This cat, we have the derpiest cat sleeper cells. We really do. Third base is getting taken by ASD now, so now he decides he wants to capitalize, but I feel like the game's evened out for the most part, except his third's going to be quite a bit faster.
I would actually disagree with that here. ASD going up to that third, like you said, a little bit quicker. But he's also straight on the path, starting to get those upgrades out. He's switched over to roaches at this point because he's been able to mine a little bit more gas than his opponent. His opponent didn't get gas until a little bit later on. His natural gas is just now popping. So these roaches are really, really going to do pretty solid versus, well, the army of queens that Pericles has right now. Generally, you never want to engage roaches with queens. Just as a general little tidbit.
Yeah, it normally doesn't fare too terribly well. And over on the upgrades, we can see this game's actually rather lacking in upgrades to this point. It's kind of lackluster there. We do have the +1 missile attacks and the metabolic boost for ASD. Nothing so far for Pericles, who is continuing his queen production right now. I don't know exactly what his game plan is here with all these queens. He's going to need to get some sort of beef to his army. I mean, you can't... We saw TLO do this like back in 2011. It worked for like one game when he caught his opponent completely off guard, but after that, not too much more.
Even in the situation where, if we're going to jump back to 2011, back in the day, even in the situation where he had a lot of queens and he won the game, he didn't win with just queens. I've actually seen builds recently with just Queen Ultra. We have like 5 Ultralists. It's like a rush almost. You have like 5 Ultras and a ton of queens, and then you just constantly are transfusing the Ultralists, and they just never die.
That sounds interesting. I mean, I don't think Pericles is going for that. Well, no, yeah, he's got his Hydralisk down on the way, getting some roaches finally onto the field. If we look over the army right now, we have ASD sitting at 13 roaches and 3 Hydras, 10 roaches for Pericles right now. ASD is just about one step ahead of his opponent pretty much at any given point in time. Just needs to make sure. I think the big thing, especially in anything below pretty high masters for Zerg, is finding that nice balance between the number of roaches you have versus the number of Hydralisks you have. Because if you get too many Hydralisks, everything just dies. But if you have too many roaches, then you don't quite have that nice DPS punch that the Hydralisk add to the back of your army. So that's kind of the big thing right now, I'd say, for ASD. Pericles, I'm going to be honest, I still don't know exactly what he's doing.
I honestly think these queens were just that early defense, and now he's just kind of stuck with them. So he's sort of having to do something that kind of involves the queens. As we do see ASD is pushing out just a little bit, cleaning up a couple overlords. He does have 10 Hydras about to pop as well. So he's going to have a pretty scary army moving across the map. Oh, look at all of those overlords. That is going to supply block the hell out of Pericles.
But this is not an engagement he wants to take.
Yeah, Pericles pushes forward just a little bit, forcing the army of ASD back. Because honestly, that's definitely more of a glass cannon army right now. A lot of Hydras, not a lot of roaches. And he's just continuing to add on Hydras and a Nidus Worm.
Oh man, that is a lot of Hydralisks. And there is an old little saying as we see the Overseer get set up to put down that Nidus Worm. Their old saying is that the Hydralisks are a lot like a shotgun blast, where if you get them up close and personal, they can do a lot of damage really, really fast. There's that Overseer moving in. Everything's loading up into that Nidus Worm. Pericles just now getting on supply block. There goes the Nidus Worm. Can Pericles see that? He doesn't see it. He doesn't see that back in his main. He can only guess. He does see the Overseer down to the south side, but he's not moving his army at all. All of these units are going to get unloaded.
He does see it, however, the Overlords fly just right over it, but it does pop, and there comes the surprise army in the back of Pericles' base. He's yelling surprise. He is throwing the units directly at that main hatchery. That will fall. Luckily, not the lair. The lair's the bottom, and suddenly the Sim City working against Pericles here. He had to run all the way around.
Lots of free kills there, though, as ASD tried to run back into that Nidus Worm there. But he realized that he really just didn't really want to take an engagement up on the high ground. If he could have engaged at the top of that ramp, though, he literally could have killed off the entire army of Pericles.
Look at the supply here. It's 189 to 161 in favor of ASD. He is just ahead in every aspect here, including upgrades, which is 0-2 for ASD to the 0-1 for Pericles. While this army looks bigger, that's just because the queens are just big units. It's not stronger.
That's true. We do have the Infestation Pit dropping down as well for ASD. I don't think Infestors are going to be put in this army. I think we're going to be going up into some sort of hive tech. Because generally,
I wouldn't mind Infestors here.
I wouldn't mind Infestors, but generally if you see the Hydralisks, you don't see the Infestors. You normally kind of choose one or the other. And considering the fact he's still making Hydralisks, I think we're going up to hive. That's just a personal thought, though.
Well, look at his bank. He's got a lot of gas still.
Well, he probably wants to go for that +3 weapons as well, because he's got 2 weapons right now. He's got the 1 armor.
A lot of spines as well.
A lot of spines. Yeah, he has 5 going down. And by the way, just now a 4th base getting established at the 18-minute mark for ASD. Pericles right on top of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you were right. There is a hive now coming out of... Oh, God.
No. No. You mother... Why?
We trusted you.
Oh, I loved you, ASD.
Trusted you. In case you guys...
I don't want to show any caster's bias, but I have to almost root for Pericles now.
I don't know if you guys know or if he's highlighting it, but the Enduring Locust upgrade is being researched. The Enduring Locust upgrade for the Swarm hosts.
Oh, this could be an awkward engagement. That's not a good one for ASD there. That was almost kind of bad. We have a little hit squad of roaches coming up along the bottom side here, going into that 3rd base. 2 spine crawlers are here to defend. Are they just going to go straight for the drones? It looks like yes, yeah. There we go.
Well,
are you not taking that? Okay, I thought you were going to take that. I was going to let you take the engagement, but it's not much of an engagement because Pericles completely routed ASD at the sacrifice of his 3rd base.
Yeah, he lost a lot of workers there. 35 total drones killed by ASD in this game so far. That is a lot of workers. As we do see, this little army will get cleaned up here. But if you also look up to the north, well, it's not there anymore, Coffee Break.
Looks like the first brace is
bird.
missing now. Was that 14 swarm? Oh my goodness! 14 swarm hosts spawn out onto the map. That's going to be 28 locusts at a time.
That last forever.
Did I do that right?
Forever.
It's 2 locusts, right? It's 2 locusts?
No, it's 4.
It's 4. It feels like 4. The same DPS as a Hydralisk. Come on, Blizzard. Plus 3 weapons is on the way for ASD as well. It looks like Pericles just trying to get his 4th base back up right now.
Where are they going?
Guys, turn around! Turn around! That's the wrong. They're defecting! They're defecting! Oh well, that's totally revealed now.
They I feel like Pericles' army was not a fan. Of those. I think he's definitely going to push across the map, and suddenly Pericles is maxed, whereas ASD trying to make this Swarm Host switch, I don't think it was the right call versus what his opponent's doing. Here comes the army of Pericles, and it smells blood.
There's a ton of roaches going back into that 3rd base once again, though, and actually going up towards that natural as well. This is going to be engagement on multiple fronts here. ASD kind of low on supply, though. He has the money. I don't know why he's not macroing something up right now.
I don't think he has the larva. No, totally he does. He has 73 larva. Why is he not making things?
I couldn't tell you. Well, it looks like he's going into Infestors. I did not see Pathogen Glands. No, he does not have it, but he's now unburrowed at the 3rd base. It looks like Pericles is falling back to defend his homestead. They're up in the main base as well. Not that they're doing all that much, though.
He's going into Brood Lord Swarm Host.
Is that where? Oh, the double spire. That's absolutely what it is. The 3rd base for Pericles dies. Right now, Pericles has the bigger army, but ASD can literally do whatever he wants. With the bank he has and the amount of larvae he has, I mean, the game is ASD's to lose still.
But I think he's definitely well on the road to that. It's 158 supply to 194. He's still got a long time before he can start getting those Oh, there we go. Now he's gonna go
three more swarm hosts and 16 additional roaches on the way for ASD. That's gonna. Did he lose a swarm host? That's gonna put him up at 15 swarm hosts.
Ow.
And like you said, probably going to be going up into brood lords as well. It looks like we do have a one roach up at the top side here, killing off some drones. He's got one. He's got two. He's got no more though.
That was brutal.
I wish that these swarm hosts would push up just a little bit more. Maybe you can't see it right now, Sleeper Cells, but maybe into the middle of the map, right around there or so. That way he could send them to the left or the right to engage wherever he wanted to.
Well, I kind of like it back here. I think if he's going to do that, he should put it at the top of this ramp here, just because this way it makes it so that he can defend, honestly, the left or the right, as opposed to being aggressive, which for some reason he's being defensive. I think it's honestly just he killed a lot of this army's not going to do well here. He's going to be forced to run away. Pericles hot on his heels, moving forward, as we do see the entire army just getting chased back to this Spinecrawler line yet again. Will Pericles finally move forward? Yes, it looks like he will. Going to go ahead and engage those Spinecrawlers, taking them out, continuing to push forward. Here comes the Infestor's going to throw down a couple fungal growths. And here comes the army of ASD, catching a few more with those fungals, sectioning off that army. He will take out the army of Pericles, but Pericles, once again, just holds down the H button, and 15 more Hydras on the way. 15 more Hydralisks? Ah, man, I don't know if that's necessarily. So I'm just thinking right now. I just don't feel like that's necessarily the best way to go. I think he needs Infestors right now. Fungal growth and infested Terrans to counter the other free units on the map right now. Well, what if he gets the infestation pit and he makes swarm hosts?
You know, that would actually work. That's actually the best response as Zerg to swarm host is making more swarm hosts than your opponent has. Or just some, any. ASD, by the way, sending some more roaches up into the top side of the map here. Might be able to get a little more harassment done. No, wait. Pericles is, well, in the area, so he's probably not going to be able to do all that much there. Take out the Spinecrawler, but that's about it. But I love these little hits that ASD is doing. He's throwing roaches up onto the top side, up into that third base over here. Just doing a little damage. By the way, the third base never got resaturated. We're sitting at only 58 to 42, just a meager drone count this game.
Well, they both have such a large bank.
That's true. You know, one other thing I would like to see these players do, or at least ASD, is get an Overlord out and an Overseer and clear up a little bit of this creep spread of Pericles.
Well, we do see once again, it looks like Pericles moving forward. He's probably going to go for this this base, which has both of the spires as well as the Nidus Canal. He's going to go ahead and start pushing in there, splitting the army just a little bit. Not gonna take that engagement, gonna go ahead and push out there. I'm not sure. He might have been able to do a little bit of fight in there, just because the Swarm Host hadn't quite gotten their locusts over quite yet.
Yeah, he's got to remember that if he sees this army sitting here and he does not see the locusts in there, he needs to take the engagement, because this is only probably about, I'm just going to put a number on it, probably about 60 to 70% of the army value of ASD. So that's not the full army, and if you want to engage with your full army, you are obviously going to have the advantage. I mean, look at how much Roach Hydra there is here. That is insane. Upgrade sitting at 3-3 on the ground for both of these players.
And Queen.
And Queens. And Queens as well.
Pericles
running forward. There we go. Finally going to be clearing up some of the creep. Does not want to engage those locusts. And he's going to take a little bit of damage there. Maybe lose a couple of units. Not the biggest deal in the world, but just in general, you don't want to trade for units. Actually, I wouldn't mind him trading out some of these queens. I think that he could do some better army management if he lost some queens.
Well, there's the Greater Spire finally coming out of ASD. He went for 1-1 before the Greater Spire, so that's going to be a little bit delayed.
These Corruptors, they're positioning themselves on the 12 o'clock position of this map. That means they're going to morph into Broodlords. There's no air units right now, actually, for Pericles, so this is brilliant. He's going to be able to siege up both of these bases from out in the dead zone up here.
Well, the only downside here is Pericles did see them flying across the map, so he does know that there are Corruptors, and the only reason he'd want Corruptors right now
no, don't go too close to that edge. Sorry, continue on.
is for the Broodlords, so he is going to have to respond in some way, and he is responding, making that Spire, as we do see another Poultry Force moving into that third once again. Gonna go ahead and take out the Spine Crawlers, as well as probably this third base, although he's gonna get caught in here, gonna get completely decimated. That is pretty much the entirety of the Roach Hydra for ASD. Those are almost gonna get completely cleaned up here, and Pericles, I think, might smell the blood in the water here. He might start pushing forward.
Yeah, and ASD realized that he decided not to make his Broodlords quite yet because he needs all the supply he can back home defending against this. Where are the locusts that should be over here? They're actually sending their locusts in the wrong direction. They're not going over to engage, which means Pericles, for about a 15-second time window, has a big advantage pushing over into this fourth base.
And it looks like he is indeed going to push in. He will engage, engaging the locusts as well, doing so much damage. Here comes some fungals, beautiful fungals going down in the middle of that army of Pericles, losing so much supply, and ASD just continuing to resupply as well as Pericles. But suddenly, the Swarm Hosts are in danger. Another round of Locusts does come out though, and will protect those Swarm Hosts just long enough for them to get away. However, this is still a nice-sized army left over for Pericles, and there we go. Gonna go ahead and start picking up those Swarm Hosts one after the other. And suddenly, I think they're all going to go down. Every single Swarm Host will fall, and suddenly Pericles in a bit of a lead here.
Yeah, he's going to take the lead for the moment, but ASD does have that defender's advantage. But, oh man, I feel like he's almost squandering it a little bit. He's losing a lot of units, not rallying them all together at once. That defender's advantage means nothing if you don't have everything together. There we go. Finally, he's going to be able to route this army back, but he lost a lot of extra units. But here come the reinforcements for for Pericles. The Broodlords are getting morphed in on the top of the map, though. I don't know how much help they're going to be, because he needs those back home defending right now.
Yeah, and that is way too far away. The Broodlords will not be able to come back to defend. That is such a huge army for Pericles, moving in, engaging straight up into the natural. Both armies at 3-3. He will defeat the main army of ASD, who is supply blocked suddenly as well. He must have lost a lot of Overlords somewhere.
But up north, there are those Broodlords instantly decimate a hatchery there. The Broodlords going to be moving over towards the fourth base. Pericles, though, moving into the natural, and I don't know whose shoes I'd rather be in right now, to be honest, because it kind of sucks for both of these players. ASD has nothing to deal with Hydras. Pericles has nothing for Broodlords.
I think we're heading into a base trade situation here. It looks like Pericles will fall back, going towards that fourth.
I don't think
he's actually going home.
Well, I guess it's only, well, I don't know. There's a lot of Broodlords here, and there aren't a lot of Hydralisks. Are there any Infestors around to help support this for Pericles? There are not. So actually, I think ASD might be able to take this if he doesn't blunder and not target these Hydralisks. He needs to kill the Hydralisks, though.
Yeah, there's a decent amount here. Here they come. Roach is moving in, gonna start taking the brunt of the Locust. But it looks like he's just air moving. He's not attacking the Broodlords yet. There he goes, finally gonna go ahead and start engaging, as well as a couple Corruptors here gonna go ahead and join the battle. Those Corruptors will have nothing to stop them. While the Hydras will all fall, it looks like the Corruptors will finish and clean up all these Broodlords.
Back at home, ASD remacroing on 13 additional Hydralisks. It looks like he's pushing down into that third base once again, though. Pericles going to lose a lot of this. This is pretty much his last mining base right now. In fact, it really is. There's no pretty much about it. But ASD, both these players are so low. I don't think ASD has that much of an army left. Oh my goodness, he has 10 infestors, but he doesn't have the brute force he needs to kill this. I don't know how to call this. I think it's ASD, actually. I think it's ASD. He just has a huge army supply now. Oh, he got 18 more roaches. I missed the Remax, or the Remax.
Well, here come the Fungals. Going to go in and come on in. He misses the first one. Will he get the next one? No, he misses the second one by a long shot. And Pericles forced to retreat. The big problem here for Pericles is he did not have quite the bank. He had about 2K less than his opponent in that after that battle. So suddenly ASD, with his mining bases, is able to make just so many more units, so many more roaches. And while he doesn't necessarily have as much larva anymore, which is why he can't quite make as many roaches as he'd like, he's definitely sitting pretty now.
This is why I loved ASD's attacks earlier when he was just throwing a few roaches here, a few roaches there, killing off some of the mining. It allowed him to get that bank up. He didn't necessarily ever have to worry about his macro all that much, which is good because he never really hit that nice high drone count, but he kept his opponent lower than his. That's the big point. That's the big point right there for ASD, who now is feeling in a good enough position to start pushing out across the map here. And I just want to point out one thing. Think about how this game would be different if ASD didn't go for those Brood Lords, which really didn't do too terribly much.
Oh, they did well. They forced the army of Pericles back, because the big problem with ASD in that fight was he kept conga lining his roaches, so he was never able to get that ball to engage Pericles head on, so Pericles was just able to steamroll over the line.
Ooh, we have a Brofester hit squad on the north side, going back up to that fourth base, just trying to get reestablished, but not feeling it. There we go. There come the infested Terrans. There is no army over here, and you don't really want to engage that anyways. This base is dead, folks.
Yeah, will he get the cancel on it? That is the next big choice. Yes, he will get the cancel. A couple more drones going to fall. Ooh, a lot more drones, actually, who are trying to mine that base are all about to die to these
But back down to the third base. There's another engagement. Pericles trying to save the third base, knowing that's all he has left. GG's out of the game. ASD moving in. That was a really nice little hit, taking out that fourth base. And so the only base left for Pericles to mine from was the third base. If that died, it was game over. And Pericles, realizing that he couldn't fight this army, was forced to GG out.
Yeah, really, really good, strong play from ASD the entire game. Just as he seemed to have a lead almost the entire game, and even when it felt like he didn't anymore, he was still very comfortably in a decent position, even when he wasn't super far ahead. He never really fell behind, I guess, is a good word to play.
Yeah, I wish that we would have seen his drone count get a little bit higher. Pericles as well. They both, I think I wasn't keeping a super close eye, but the highest I saw was about 60 or so. So both of them could use to add on around 10 to 15 more drones. Other than that, though, not a bad game by either player. Pericles, I think he just got split apart a little bit too much and wasn't able to multitask his way around the multi-pronged attacks too often, and needed to spot that Nidus network as well. Final thoughts, Sleeper Cells?
Really, we've said it all. Really good game from both the players. Pericles just not quite able to deal with the multi-prong harass, as well as well, no, that's the big problem. He wasn't able to deal with the multi-pronged harass as well.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning back into the Coffee Cast, a Reddit casted edition. I'm Coffee Break. Casting with me tonight was Sleeper Cells. Take a look down in that description for Facebook and Twitter links. Until next time, folks, this is Coffee Break, signing out.
Bye, guys.